My wife's affair partner texted me by mistake. He thought I already knew about them and was just being helpful. I thanked him politely, then spent 6 months quietly documenting everything. When my wife finally demanded a divorce, she expected me to be shocked. Instead, I smiled. What happened next left both her and her lawyer completely speechless. Hello, Reddit I plus here. My wife's affair partner texted me by mistake. He thought I already knew about them. He thought he was helping. That one mistake ended up saving my business, my house, and nearly $500,000. My name is Garrett Lawson. I'm 41 years old, and until last year, I believed I had one of those marriages people quietly envied. I owned a successful commercial construction company outside Denver. Nothing glamorous. We built warehouses, office parks, and distribution centers. 15 years earlier, I'd started with a pickup truck, a borrowed trailer, and 2 employees willing to take a chance on me. By 41, the company employed 23 people and generated just over $4 million annually. My wife, Nicole, was 38. We'd been married 12 years, together for 16, no children. By choice. We enjoyed the freedom. Weekend trips whenever we wanted, expensive restaurants, international vacations, a beautiful, custom-built home on 5 acres outside the city, 2 luxury vehicles in the driveway, retirement accounts growing steadily. Everything looked perfect. The scary part is that when people say an affair comes out of nowhere, they're usually wrong. The signs are almost always there. You just don't recognize them until it's too late. Nicole began changing about 9 months before everything exploded. She became obsessed with her appearance, new dresses, new hairstyles, new perfume, designer handbags appearing every few weeks. Whenever I complimented her, she'd smile and say she wanted to feel more confident. I encouraged it. Why wouldn't I? Then came the late nights, client dinners, networking events, marketing conferences, work retreats. Every explanation sounded reasonable. Every excuse fit perfectly, because good lies are built on believable truths. Our relationship slowly shifted, not dramatically, just enough. Less affection, less intimacy, less conversation. We stopped laughing together the way we used to. Sometimes she'd sit beside me on the couch while scrolling her phone, physically present, but emotionally somewhere else. I noticed. I just never imagined another man was the reason. Then came the text. Tuesday afternoon, March 18th. I remember the exact date because it changed the trajectory of my life. I was reviewing project estimates when my phone buzzed. Unknown number, local area code. The message read, "Hey Garrett, sorry to bother you. Nicole left her bracelet here last night. I figured she'd want it back before tomorrow's event. Let me know if you want me to drop it off." Attached was a photo. At first glance, it seemed harmless. Then I looked closer. The bracelet sat on a nightstand. Beside it were 2 wine glasses, one with lipstick on the rim. Behind them were tangled sheets. A woman's blazer draped over a chair. Nicole's blazer. I knew it instantly because I'd bought it for her birthday. For several seconds, I simply stared. My brain refused to process what my eyes were seeing. Then another text arrived. Oh wait, never mind. She just told me she'll stop by tonight after work. Sorry, man. My stomach dropped. Not because of the bracelet, not because of the photo, because of the assumption. This man believed I already knew. He thought Nicole had told me she'd spent the night with him. He wasn't exposing an affair, he was being courteous, helpful, friendly. The betrayal hit harder than if he'd intentionally revealed everything. I sat frozen in my office. My pulse hammered in my ears every late night, every business trip, every secretive phone call, every gym session. Suddenly they connected like pieces of a puzzle snapping together. Most people would have exploded. I almost did. I almost called Nicole immediately, almost drove to her office, almost confronted her on the spot. Instead, something colder took over. A voice inside my head said, "If she's been lying for months, don't show your hand. Learn everything first." I responded calmly. "Thanks for letting me know. Can you send me your name and address? Nicole's been forgetful lately." The reply came within seconds. "Of course. This is Brandon Pierce." Then he sent everything. His full name, his address, even his personal email. He had absolutely no idea he was talking to a husband who had just discovered an affair. I saved every message, every screenshot, every detail. Then I called the best divorce attorney in the state. Not because I wanted a divorce, because I wanted information. That meeting changed everything. The attorney listened carefully, reviewed the screenshots, then asked a question I hadn't considered. "Has your wife had access to company finances?" I nodded. She knew where everything was: bank accounts, investments, property records, business assets. The attorney leaned back. "You need to start documenting immediately." For the next 6 months, I became an investigator in my own marriage. I never confronted Nicole, not once. Instead, I watched, quietly, patiently, carefully. What I discovered was worse than the affair itself. The affair had been going on for nearly a year. Brandon wasn't some temporary fling. He thought he was Nicole's future husband. She told him our marriage was essentially over, that we were separating, that I was emotionally unavailable. The usual lies cheaters tell, but there was more, much more. Nicole had been preparing financially, without my knowledge, large transfers from joint accounts, hidden credit cards, secret consultations with divorce attorneys, conversations with friends discussing how much money she'd receive once she left me. One message I found through shared cloud backups made my blood run cold. She wrote, "Once I get half the business, Brandon and I can finally start our life together." Half the business. The company I'd spent 15 years building. The company she'd never worked a single day in. She was already spending money she hadn't won yet. The attorney instructed me to document everything, every transfer, every text, every email, every financial movement. So I did for 6 months. Nicole never suspected a thing. She continued her affair, continued lying, continued planning her future. And every week, my evidence folder grew larger. Then came the final betrayal. I learned she'd secretly taken out a personal line of credit using our home equity, nearly $80,000. She intended to use it after filing for divorce. That discovery changed everything. My attorney smiled for the first time. Now we wait. 2 months later, Nicole made her move. Friday evening, she walked into our kitchen carrying a folder, sat across from me, looked strangely confident, almost excited. Then she delivered the speech she'd probably rehearsed 100 times. She wasn't happy. She needed to find herself. We'd grown apart. She wanted a divorce. She expected tears, arguments, shock. Instead, I simply nodded. Then I said, "Okay." Her confidence vanished instantly. People expecting a fight become uncomfortable when they don't get one. 3 days later, her attorney sent divorce papers. What happened next was beautiful. During discovery, my attorney produced 6 months of evidence, financial records, transfers, hidden debt, affair documentation, messages discussing plans to take company assets, screenshots of Nicole calculating future payouts before filing. According to my attorney, the expression on her lawyer's face was unforgettable. Halfway through reviewing the documents, he reportedly stopped reading and asked, "Why were you preparing for this in March?" The answer was simple: because a man named Brandon accidentally texted the wrong person. The divorce dragged on for another year. Nicole didn't get half the business. She didn't get the house. She didn't get the massive settlement she'd expected. The court was not impressed by someone secretly accumulating debt while planning to financially benefit from a divorce. The evidence destroyed her credibility. In the end, she walked away with far less than she'd imagined. Brandon didn't stick around either. Apparently, he wasn't interested in a future with someone whose promises had collapsed under documented facts. Their relationship ended before the divorce was finalized. Poetic, really. Last month, I heard Nicole moved into a small apartment across town. Brandon relocated to another state. And me? I'm doing just fine. The company is stronger than ever. I've since met someone honest. Someone who doesn't need secret phones or late-night excuses. Sometimes people ask when I first knew my marriage was over. I tell them the truth. It wasn't when I found evidence of the affair. It wasn't when she asked for a divorce. It wasn't even when she admitted she'd been lying. My marriage ended the moment another man accidentally treated me with more honesty than my wife had shown me in an entire year.